Welcome to the High Ticket Success Podcast, where premium coaches, consultants, and advisors come for bold strategies, big breakthroughs, and real results. I'm your host, Dave Dubeau. Hey, welcome back, folks. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked for kind of a shortcut for your coaching or consulting business that can generate some revenue, generate some clients quickly? Well, if you're like most of us, chances are the answer is yes. And today, my special guest, zooming in from the beautiful island paradise of Puerto Rico, is Rob Goyette, and Rob is an expert on this. I haven't known Rob, but I've known of Rob for quite some time through other big names in the space, like Tom Poland and folks like that, John Schumacher, these kind of folks who have promoted Rob to their lists because they like what he does so much. So, Rob, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dave. I'm excited to be here.
So, Rob, you've been in and around coaching and coaches for a long time. I think you kind of got started this in way back in 2007. Now you've kind of you're very, very well known for these specific things. So let's just very briefly kind of talk. How did you get into this whole crazy world of coaching and consulting, and how did you come up with these unique ideas?
Sure. So I sort of got my start in the internet marketing world. I was fascinated with SEO, like how do these people show up at the top of the search engines? And so I figured it out, or at least I learned from a lot of places how to do it. And through that, I ended up meeting Christian Michelson, who's a pretty big name in the coaching industry. But this
Mhm.
was before he was a big name in the coaching industry. So he and I became friends. And then his business really took off. And I asked him if I could join his team to help him with some of his marketing and his SEO. And he said yes. So I was actually on his team for 7 years. And that's where I fell in love with the coaching industry. Coaches are
Okay.
so heart-centered. Yeah, I love supporting coaches. When Christian and I parted ways in around 2014, I decided to build my own list of coaches and nurture them by sharing great content, and then come up with my own irresistible offers. And one of them is the model that I'm best known for, which is called laser coaching. And we can talk about that, or we can talk about the high ticket offer because that's your podcast, whatever you like.
Yeah. Well, let's start with the laser coaching because that's what I heard about you about first. But let's just be brief on that, and then we'll jump into the high ticket offer as well. So
Sure.
maybe big broad strokes. Tell us what laser coaching is and how it helps coaches and consultants with their
Yeah, and
businesses.
maybe Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting. Maybe before I jump into laser coaching, I will just say that there's a formula that has served me really, really well as far as making revenue in my business, and it applies to all of us. And so, if you're ever troubleshooting your marketing or trying to come up with a new idea for a program, the formula is trust and a congruent, irresistible offer. And you can think about it
Mm,
this way: if people don't trust us, they're not going to hire us. If
right.
your offer is not congruent, that means people are going to be confused, and a confused mind says no. And if it's not irresistible, then they might resist. Uh, but with that
Yeah.
formula, I came up with the idea for laser coaching. And what it is it's a year of unlimited coaching with the coach, 15-minute calls for one low price. And the price I recommend is $997. And a
Okay.
lot of
So let's zoom out
yeah.
on it for a second. So on the surface, sounds like an absolute nightmare. But I can see the irresistible side of things from the client side of the side. Unlimited coaching, 15-minute sessions for a full year, $1,000 with a smart guy I know and trust. Sounds pretty appealing. So sorry, I interrupted you there, but
No, that's
that's
okay. Yeah, that whole trust and congruent irresistible offer has to work for the coach too, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, what keeps things reasonable is that there's a homework rule. The client must do their homework before they can schedule their next call. Otherwise, they'll just fill up your calendars. And
Mhm.
so, I enrolled over 50 one-on-one clients this way the first year I created it, and to prove it worked before I created a course on how to do it. And the average client had somewhere between 7 and 8 of these 15-minute calls. The first call is 30 minutes. But basically, it meant that I was earning about $500 an hour for my time. If you do the math, 8 calls, 15 minutes, that's 2 hours, $1,000. Yeah,
Mhm.
$500 an hour for my time. And I started sharing it with some of my peers. and they enrolled a bunch of clients quickly, and they were getting the same results as I was, but they were doing a few things wrong, like they were having way too many calls, or they weren't what's the word, strategically assigning homework. And
Mm.
it's been refined over the years to work really well for coaches. I've helped thousands of coaches with this laser coaching model, and that's probably why I'm best known for it, is because it's so easy for coaches to get clients. The strategy behind it, though, is that once you get some laser coaching clients, I look at it as you're basically being paid $1,000 to build trust and rapport with your ideal clients. So people who
Ah,
might not hire you for your high ticket program, it's very likely they would hire you for laser coaching if they trust and congruent, irresistible offer. And so once you've got that relationship with them, you can congruently ask them if they want to apply what they spent toward the laser coaching to your high ticket offer. And
smart.
that's how I sold so many VIP weekends, was laser coaching.
That's the magic sauce there. So, okay, so that's what's worked well for you for generating leads for your VIP weekends.
Mhm.
What's some examples of how other coaches and consultants have applied this same laser coaching thing to theirs, and maybe explain what the trust, the congruency, the irresistible offer was for them, just like a an example, if you would.
Sure. I mean, most coaches, they go into our course and we've got swipe copy and templates. And sometimes, like, one of the bonuses is that I actually review the offer. Sometimes I'll see, like, they forget to take my name out of the swipe copy. It's like, no, 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 they're not hiring me. So,
Yeah.
but they almost copy and paste and just send the copy out to their list, or they can post it on social media or do a webinar, somehow share it with their audience. And if their audience trusts them, this offer is irresistible. So as long as there's congruence, yeah, they end up getting a bunch of clients. Though I do recommend not getting more than 8 clients for your first round, so you can get a
Mm.
feel for it. Because I think the most I'm aware of, I had a coach enroll like 33 clients in a very short time. She actually loved it. I had another one enroll 25, and it was too much for her. So I
Yeah.
recommend enroll about 8 laser coaching clients, see how you like it. And then beyond that, you can actually scale it. But I'm not answering your question. Your question
Mhm.
is, some coaches, yeah, most coaches, they take the swipe copy that's in the course, they send it out, they get some coaching clients, they build trust with those clients. And when the calls start to go down in frequency, the coach can reach out to the client and say, "Hey, it looks like you're not using the laser coaching as much as we thought you would.
Mhm.
What if we took the money you spent on the laser coaching and apply it to a high ticket program?" They don't say it that way, but that's what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
And
To my full meal deal. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
pushes 2 buttons for the client. Number one, they see a discount on your high ticket offer. And number two, it's like they got the laser coaching for free. So they got to save face that they maybe didn't use it as much as they thought they would.
Understood. Okay, cool. Thank you very much for explaining that, Rob.
Yeah.
Now, your other secret weapon and secret sauce is your VIP. I think it's a 3-day weekend. So maybe tell us a little bit about how that works.
Sure. So once again, trust and congruent irresistible offer is how I came up with it. But people will pay us more money for faster, easier, and better results. So if we can do something to our current offering to make it faster, easier, better,
Mhm.
yeah, we can charge more. And so the idea of a VIP weekend, it's not that the client is going to get results in 3 days. It is that you will work with the client for a certain period of time. Doesn't have to be 3 days. I went with the whole 3 day weekend. Everybody loves the 3 day
Yeah.
weekend, but maybe it takes 2 days, or maybe it takes longer. But you spend time with a client to set them up with a system to get ongoing results. I was helping coaches with their marketing funnels, but if you're in the physical fitness coach, you could give them workout routines, shopping lists. You basically set them up with a system for having success, and then you give them support after the VIP weekend so that they don't feel like you just set them up and disappeared. And I was able to sell those for between $3,000 and $10,000. I've sold somewhere between 75 and 80. I stopped counting at 75, but I don't think there were very many more. So
Mhm.
somewhere between 75 and 80 of these. But some of those people were laser coaching clients that we built the trust and rapport. They might not have hired me for a higher ticket item right away, but because of the laser coaching relationship, that trust carried into the next offer. Uh,
Yeah. So basically, you did the laser coaching with them. When they got in the laser coaching, they thought they're going to be using this every single month or every single week or whatever they had in their mind.
yeah.
As with anything, it kind of fizzles out over time. So 7 or 8 sessions in, they're kind of fizzling out. You reach out to them and say, "Hey, things are fizzling. I've got this other thing where we can get everything that you want to get accomplished done in 3 days. I'll apply what you invested in this towards that. So it's basically like your laser coaching is free. And here's the outcome of these 3 days. And like you mentioned, brilliant, right? They want it faster, easier. What was the third one?
Better. Good
Better.
memory.
Yeah, better,
Yeah,
faster, easier, right?
yeah, yeah.
All in one fell swoop. And then the 3 day thing isn't really just 3 days. It's 3 days to kind of get them launched and then ongoing support for whatever a year after that. So basically, it's almost a way to sell a year's worth of coaching bundled up in 3 days and get a high ticket price, 5 to 10 grand for that service, for that bundle. Am I getting that right, Rob?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of concerns coaches have are like, well, if I know that they're not going to have very many sessions with me, that feels a little dishonest. Like I'm
Yeah,
saying,
a
have
little
a
bait
year
and
with me,
switch. Yeah,
but I
yeah.
secretly know that they're not going to. And I say it's okay to be transparent about that, to say the reason the laser coaching price is so low is because the accountability is on you to do your homework and book your calls. And most
Mm-hmm.
clients are like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And so I also like to use the metaphor of a gym membership. Laser coaching is like you kind of pay to work out in a gym for a year.
Yeah.
Um, the upsell process to a VIP weekend in this case would be to say, hey, you paid us for a year of your gym membership. You haven't been working out since January. What if we took the money you paid us and applied it toward a personal trainer, someone who could
Mm-hmm.
work with you to show you that system to get the results? And you can still work out in the gym. Yeah. So
That's
that
a smart, that's a really smart analogy. Yeah.
yeah, and clients understand it. Like
Mm-hmm.
even though I don't do anything in the physical fitness world, when I use that metaphor, they're like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense." So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Smart. So, what have been some interesting ways you've seen your clients or your students do their VIP weekends? What kind of coaching or services have you seen around this that have been kind of stood out for you, Rob?
Yeah, so well, there are three sort of scenarios for delivering a VIP weekend. And by the way, I went on to offer VIP weeks for $25,000. Like it doesn't have to be just a VIP weekend. It's time with you to set them up with a system. So however you
Right.
want to package that. But there are three scenarios. One is virtual, where it's done on Zoom, and that's probably the easiest for the coach and the client, or the consultant and the client. When I first launched these, though, I was actually traveling to the client, and I
Mm.
included the travel in the price. So I was charging 5,000, and I said, I'll come to your city if you're in the U.S. I also ended up going to Costa Rica. We talked about that before the show started.
Mhm.
It's great. I got to go to
That's a
Costa Rica.
bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so uh, yeah. So in one case, and no, well, in many cases, I would travel to a client, and that was fun. Got to go to some cool locations. Sometimes I'd bring my family. Went to Jamaica and California. Like, yeah, lots of cool places.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think you got to be charging way more than 5 grand if you're flying to them and spending 3 solid days. So, but anyhow, that's my
Yeah, well, yeah, and later on it was 25,000 and they flew to Puerto Rico. So, yeah, but the idea here is that yeah, one way is you travel to the client, and that's, faster, easier, better if you show up at their doorstep or meet them at their office or in
Mhm.
some public area to work. Yeah, that makes it super convenient for them, and they love meeting with us in person like that, and that really builds trust. Virtual is also great. And what I would do is I would say, hey, we can knock off 2,000 if you'll do it virtually. And especially when I highlighted that, people usually like the $2,000 discount more than meeting in person. Though I did have
Yeah.
some people insist, no, no, I want to meet you in person. And what I found happens is when we meet in person, we have a stronger relationship, like a better friendship, but it's not quite as productive. I had one guy drive me all around his city for the first half of the first day. And it's like, I was trying to be polite. It's like, yeah, I was appreciating what he was sharing, but it's like, but we need to get to work. But when
Mhm.
it's virtual, you and the client work, and usually you're not connected the whole time on Zoom. So you exchange cell phone numbers and you agree what you're each going to work on. It's a done with you program. So you both hang up and you work, and when one of you wants to reach out to the other, then you can reconnect on Zoom. The third way is where the client comes to you. So it's still in person, but then
Mhm.
you can ask the client to cover the fees. Sometimes I would do that. Sometimes I would just give them the same fee as if I traveled, and then I would pay their fees.
Pay
It
their
wasn't a big,
hotel and flight
yeah,
or something like that. Yeah.
hotel and flight. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'd take them out for a meal, that type of thing. What's interesting though is I had lots, well, I don't know about lots, but several clients hire me for more than one. So in other words, they liked it so much, yeah, they hired me for more. So as far as other coaches using this, it's going to be those three scenarios. Most coaches I've talked with, they like the virtual best. I think that's easiest for everybody.
Mhm.
But you can charge more money, and if you like the idea of traveling, because I was excited to travel. I wanted to. We went to Orlando, and my wife and son went to Disney World while I worked with the client. That's
Yeah.
kind of fun. But if you don't want to travel, virtual is great. But sometimes the clients do want to meet with you. I will say one thing. I don't know that it just applies to women, but I would say anyone who might feel unsafe with a client, like if you get any kind of hit or instinct that, hey, this could be a dangerous situation, you might just do it virtually to be safe,
Mhm.
or bring along somebody with you, an assistant. If your assistant's a
Yeah.
bodybuilder, that helps too. But no, yeah. But I do want to address the safety thing because I don't want to just say, oh yeah, go out and meet with whoever you can, and then
Yeah.
somebody gets hurt. Uh,
Mhm.
but uh, but yeah, so have your wits about you and don't meet in person with somebody where it would not be a good idea to do that. I've actually like been in female clients' hotel rooms where we're working inside their suite, and I'm okay with it, and they trusted me enough. But if the roles were reversed, I would never recommend that you like
Yeah.
invite. Yeah, I'm saying male, female, but there's all that stuff. But anyway, just make sure you're safe. That's something really to highlight about these in-person VIP weekends.
That's really interesting, Rob. As you're explaining this, I'm thinking, geez, I used to do something kind of like that years ago, pre-COVID.
Hmm.
I was working with real estate investors and helping them get set up with a whole system for raising capital. I live in Kamloops, British Columbia, Canada, which is kind of the middle of nowhere. But I'd have people fly in here, spend I think it was just 2 days, but it's
Okay.
amazing what you can get accomplished in that time frame. So we filmed a bunch of videos for them. I interviewed them and helped create their version of a book. We did all, worked on their presentation, role played that, got a whole bunch of professional headshots done. So by
Yeah.
the time they left that couple of days, we had everything accomplished that we needed to get the job running, to get the job going. So it wasn't exactly that. It was part of the
Yeah.
service we were offering, but yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty cool working with people in person like
Yeah,
that.
and I'd say it's pretty similar. I mean, to me, it sounded like you were doing VIP weekends. I don't know what your support stuff was after, or if you did prep calls and all the things we recommend, but it
Mhm.
sounds like you were successfully offering at least what I would call a VIP weekend. So yeah, that's awesome.
We might have even called it that. I can't even remember. It's been a while now, but yeah,
Okay.
very, very cool. So, yeah, Rob, so I love this. So, do you find that most of your coach clients that are kind of following this are doing both, or they're doing one or the other? How do you see people integrating these usually?
Yeah, most coaches go with the laser coaching. It's the low-hanging fruit. You get the course, you send out the emails or get in front of your ideal audience, you make the irresistible offer. The VIP weekend takes a little more strategy and planning, like, okay, what are you going to cover on your weekend? Who's going to do what? So it's a little more involved in the setup, but totally worth it if anybody's watching this and thinking, is it worth it to really plan out some kind of done with you service that has support afterward, I would say a big yes to that. It's yeah, and again, the bond that you form with those clients, it's so strong. The irresistible part of the offer for most coaches that hired me was that I let them do a payment plan without finance charges. So if they were paying me $7,000, I would let them make 14 payments of $500. And what was nice is, you get a few of these under your belt, you've got that recurring income month after month. But
Yeah,
almost out of the 80 people or 75, whatever it was, almost everyone made all of their payments, which is not typical with payment plan scenarios. But because we had built so much trust and rapport in those 3 days together, almost everyone made all their payments. And I was really
interesting.
happy about that. Yeah.
Okay, that brings up a whole kettle of fish in my mind, which would be like, hey, especially if you're flying out to them and you're taking the family to Disneyland or whatever, you're out way, way, way more than 500 bucks. So are you waiting for them to have paid in a bunch first before you do the weekend, or you just
I
get rolling
did.
with it?
Now, to
Yeah.
me, that's like a scarcity mindset to say, I don't trust you that you're going to make your payments. Whereas, like, we're asking them to trust us with all this money that we're going to deliver. So I
Hmm.
trusted them to make their payments, and it all worked out fine. And after
Okay,
I'd done a
so
few and realized people were making all their payments, then it became even easier.
well,
But
it's a definitely more of an irresistible offer, isn't it? If you got the, yeah, if you so just out of curiosity, was there an incentive to pay in full?
No, because honestly, I like the payment plans.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
having that money, that reliable money come in month after month after
Hmm.
month. When somebody did pay the full amount, it was awesome because like, oh, great, cash injection. But now I'm going to support this person for, I like to offer 2 years of
Yeah,
laser coaching. That was the support. So I'm going to be
yeah.
supporting this person for at least, for 2 years, which I know they're not going to use a lot of calls, and that's what happened. But at the same time, yeah, in 3 days of delivery, you get a client, and if you do two of those a month, that's a six-figure coaching income anyway, or
Hmm.
consulting income. Like, yeah, I just like getting that money coming in month after month. That's
Oh, I completely get it.
yeah,
It is actually better long term than those cash injections because, at least in my experience, those cash injections could evaporate fairly quickly
yeah,
into the
yeah.
ether. But that monthly recurring revenue is smart. So, okay, let's see if I can laser zoom out on this and understand it. So the model was get them hooked with the laser coaching sessions. 997 gets them a year's worth of those. Typically, on average, they go through 7 or 8 of them, start to fizzle out. See if they're interested in a VIP 3-day weekend. Get them engaged with that, whatever that is, 7 grand split into 14,500 a month payments. You go or they come or you do it online and you do that 3-day experience with them, get them hooked, and then you include 2 more years of laser coaching sessions as part of the VIP weekend, knowing that they're going to use a chunk of them, but not all of them, but they have access to it. So it's the same idea. They do a session with you. They've got a homework. They've got to do the homework before they book another session with you. Correct? After that?
It's supposed to be that way, but with VIP weekend clients, like our relationship is so good, we're friends. It's like I feel like I'd help them for free, so I'd let them
Yeah.
go longer on the calls. That I wouldn't enforce the homework rule
Not
with them,
suppose. Got
but
it.
I could have. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But you
absolutely.
found that after that, they're still not they're not overwhelming you with calls. It's a reasonable pace of calls after that.
Yeah, I'm one guy out of the 75 or 80 comes to mind
Of
that
course.
he really took advantage of it. And so when his 2 years are up, I was like, hey, yeah, we've reached the end of the 2 years. If you want to hire me for another one, you can. And like, yeah, so
Mhm.
um, yeah, but I think the reason he felt like he could have so many calls is because we had developed such a good friendship.
Mhm.
We didn't go on vacation together, but we were both on vacation and connected that way.
Connected.
So, so kind of some
Nice.
friendship type stuff. So yeah, but I did want to mention that laser coaching can be used to sell any high ticket offer. It's a way to build that trust and rapport with a client before they move on to the high ticket offer. But also, VIP weekends, as long as you've got the trust and irresistible offer, you don't need the laser coaching. So,
Hmm.
like, I would sell VIP weekends just to my email list. I would just say, hey, I'm offering this service where I'll come out, and I think one of the subject lines was, "Can I come to your city for a weekend?" And so people are like, "Oh, wow, well, what's this about?" And by the way, the call to action in the emails was not click here to enter your credit card number. It was hit
Yeah.
reply if you're interested, and that engaged them. And so, but they had all the details. They had the price and everything. So if we got on a call, they almost always signed up because they knew
Hmm.
everything. They just wanted to make sure it's right for them. And I asked them to click the reply button.
Yeah, smart. So in the initial, just out of a marketing perspective, in the initial email, did you give them the full meal deal or say click
Yeah.
reply if you're interested, then send them the all the information, or is right there in the
No,
first email?
I put it all in a very long email saying this is what we'll do, and the prices, and hey, you can even do a payment plan, no finance charges, stuff like that. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I've
Smart.
got a course on how to do VIP weekends as well, and in there, like, there's lots of swipe copy that shows. I don't know. I think I have more swipe copy in that course than any place else because I was trying so many different versions. Like, oh, what if it was virtual? What if it was this? How do I raise the price? Stuff like that. So,
Right.
yeah. Bottom line is, though, it's congruent, well, trust and a congruent, irresistible offer. So whether you use laser coaching or don't, whether you do VIP weekends or don't, if you've got that formula and you can sell them something low ticket to build even more trust and then offer a congruent high ticket offer, that's why it works so well.
Smart. Very, very smart. Rob, thanks so much for kind of explaining that and diving into the details. I'm sure there's lots of people that are going to be interested and want to find out more. Where should they go? What should they do?
Sure. The easiest thing is I bought a domain. My name is Rob, and I have a webinar. So the domain is robwebinar.com. If you go to robwebinar.com, you don't have to go watch my webinar. It's about laser coaching, but you'll get on my list, and you're welcome to connect with me that way.
Perfect. Rob, been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and your wisdom on the show.
My pleasure, Dave. Thanks for having me. Thanks, everybody.
All right, everybody, take care, and we will see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the High Ticket Success Podcast. Want to be featured? Share your story and inspire other premium coaches, consultants, and advisors? Apply now at highticketsuccesspodcast.com/guest.